Let's understand generators and iterators in JavaScript in less than 5 minutes. So consider in JavaScript, you write a normal function. So it returns the output only once. This code of block which executes, returns the response, and it's done. So there is no mechanism to pause a function. So here we have a generator. So it allows us to pause the function there. Okay, so let's start with a very basic example. Okay, so let's say we have a very simple function and it takes the argument I. Okay, and inside it we simply return I. Console.log, and let's call show limit. So what happens here is you see the output as 10 here. Okay, now it's a very simple function. Now you cannot say, hey, now I'm calling you, you return me 10. The next time I call you, you return me 15, 20, or next time I call you, return 30. So there is no mechanism to do that. So let's introduce and let's make this function as a generator. So how that works is, let's say we keep this as a reference and let's copy this and let's put a star asterisk at the end of the function. No spaces, function star. So this basically makes this function as a generator function. Now it again takes I, which is our argument which we're passing, but instead of return, we say yield, which means return this response and pause it there. Now we cannot call it simply like a function like we are calling here, like we are calling in the above function. So we cannot call it like that. So what we need to do is we need to set a reference. So let's say now the mechanism to call that generator is called an iterator. So let's say const of get limit is equals to show limit, and we're passing 10 to it. Okay. Now what we can do inside console.log get limit dot next, which means what happens after the pause. What is the next step? What is the value after the next step? So dot value, and there we have it. Now what I can do is I can say, hey, now I have returned the value, but every time in the generator function, every time I receive the value, let's return I plus 1. So in this instance, I'm returning 11. So if I just copy this and paste it once again, so nothing will happen. Now why? Because it is calling the same instance, because we only have one yield there. So let's say if I say I plus 2, let's say we have two iterators here and we have two yields here. So each of the iterator points to each of the yield at that respective position. If it is a first yield, that corresponds to the first iterator. If it is a second yield, okay, let's give an example. Let's say yield plus 3. Now nothing happens here because we are not calling the iterator in the third instance. So let's copy this. Let's put it there. So 11, 12, and 13. So generators are helpful when we have to make some async calls. Now remember this, every generator is an iterator, but not all iterators are generators. I hope this video was useful and now you have understood the concept of generators and iterators. Another examples of generators is when we use sagas in Redux. If you have any doubts or any questions, please leave it in the comment section. If you like the video, please like and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you.